Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Friday, November 29th, 2024. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is Sunshine Cathedral's executive minister. He's also my husband, Bishop Robert Griffin, Sunshine Cathedral's Minister of Connections, the Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the Sunshine Cathedral Minister of Education. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be part of it, no matter where you live in the world. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. If you enjoy the Queer God Squad, please share this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities. At Sunshine Cathedral, we want you to know that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Are LGBTQ the ones to live and let live when it comes to religion? Thomas Jefferson told us, quote, "It does me no injury for my neighbor to say there are 20 gods or no God. It neither picks my pocket nor breaks my leg," end quote. We humans ponder the meaning of life and we explore the depths of being. These exploits have made science, philosophy, religion, and poetry the wonderful fields of exploration they are. But as amazing as our questions are, and as many clues as we find that point to possible answers, we must remember that the quest is more important than the destination. The quest may in fact be the destination. God is as good a name as any for ultimate reality. We may personalize the mystery of life, and we may encounter it powerfully in such spirit-filled individuals as the Jesus of our inherited sacred scripture. But what we believe about the experience, or ground of being, that we call God, has more to do with us than with it. We can be certain of our experience, but surely we realize that our experience and our interpretation of it, which may change over time, does not negate someone else's experience. Our truth may not be the truth, not the only truth anyway. Our questions are sacred, our yearnings are holy, our searching is divine. Preconceived answers to pre-approved questions will no longer suffice. What if God is a universal experience? What if God couldn't care less what we call it, or even if we call it anything at all? What if wonder and awe can be experienced independently of theology or scripture? What if ultimately there is nothing to fear, only experiences to have, feelings to feel, thoughts to ponder, and life to live? What if that is what we mean at the deepest level when we say God? And what if that proves to be enough? I love, obviously, I've dedicated my life to it, the poetry of religion. And I love sacred literature, particularly the Bible. And the more I study it, and the more I teach it, and the more I explore it, and the more it becomes part of me, although I started out in life with it basically being part of me, I just embrace it more and more. The less it is something that I feel I need to live by, and it's certainly anything that I feel I need to make other people believe anything in particular about. I love it. I love it for the same reason that I love history and archaeology and architecture. I love it for the same reason I love theater and drama and music. It's wonderful. It's genius. It's not a unified thing. It's not univocal. It is the writings of several people in several places in several languages over several years, decades, centuries, millennia. And so I love it, but I don't worship it. And it is not necessary. It is useful for me, but it is not necessary to have a spiritual journey. So the God of the Bible isn't just one God even. The God the God that we find in the Bible is experienced in different ways. Sometimes helping people be liberated from slavery. Sometimes telling you how to enslave people. Sometimes insisting that murder is wrong. Other times asking people to murder. So the understanding of God is very different. The names for God are different. The experiences for God are different. And so that's why it's important to me. Not because it's a unified or univocal thing, because it isn't, But it shows you different people think different things at different times. That people ask their own questions. They come up to with their own answers. Those answers may change. Someone else may not embrace those answers. That's the story. Well, that's the story I love, because that's our lives. That's reality. Mm-hmm. And so when we say what if, it's more about the journey than any possible destination. Well, the thing about the journey, about wandering in the wilderness, is you don't know where you're going. There is no preconceived destination. Yes, there's a promise. There's a land of promise. There's something great, but we don't know where it is or what it's going to look like. We think we'll know it when we see it, but that's the thing. It's all about unknown, about trusting. We're on a journey and we're trusting it's going to lead to somewhere amazing, but we don't know where it is or what it's going to be like. And if we get there, we may not stay there. We may find, oh, this wasn't it. This was just a great oasis on the way. But the great, great, great place we haven't reached yet. And so, love it. I think we should be very careful with it, though, that we don't make it an idol, that we don't let it limit us, that we don't try to limit other people with it. Because the God that we try to find in there, and like I said, there's many, many versions, those are some possibilities, not the only possibilities. I think that the search for God is as divine as whatever God we find. In fact, it may be more so, because you don't idolize the search. Once you think you found God, you have created an idol. And so I think the search for God is much more important than God, is much more godly. Because whenever you think you found it, you've quit looking. Mm-hmm. And that's a tragedy. So yeah, what if there's nothing to fear and it's all good and the search is as important or more so than whatever you think you'll find? I kind of insist that's true. It's certainly true for me.
Right. And in the original question, there was, will LGBTQ folk, will they be able to live and let live when it comes to religion? And I think that the journey is similar. I think the journey is very similar. Those of us who identify as LGBTQ, I mean, we didn't know what we were going to find. We knew how we felt. We knew what our lives were, but we didn't know what we were going to find. And same thing with finding God, finding the sacred. We don't know what we're going to find, but the journey, I can't remember who said it. The journey is home. The journey is home. And finding that way, be it your life, the sacred, God, the divine, it really is all encompassing. It is our home.
You know, I had a friend who was raised fundamentalist. And so she went from believing queer was a sin to discovering she was queer and then deciding maybe it wasn't a sin. And she identified as a lesbian, but that didn't quite get it all. So then she started identifying as a butch.
Okay.
And that not as an adjective, but as a noun. As a noun. This is how I'm a butch. Not as an adjective but as a noun. And then later they discovered they were transgender.
Okay.
As so they transitioned and started going by what they considered a male version of their name and presented, but it was all a journey.
Yeah.
It was from one thing to another. Oh, I think I found it. No, there's more. Oh, I think I found it. No, there's more. Well, that does parallel the religious journey, the spiritual journey. So because LGBTQ people have had to be on a journey, yes, I think we're the ones to recognize a journey and say, okay, I can let you be that as long as you want to be, so you find out that Hinduism is what really it makes your heart sing or whatever. You can hang out with Jainism for a while until whatever. We can see that and support it because we've lived it, and because we've lived it, we can also live it in our own spiritual journeys.
Absolutely,
they go hand in hand. There's this wonderful exercise that we did in seminary where say some of the things. All the things that you say during great sex that you say during great worship. And they're the exact same things.
All right.
Because we have done so much of the work, I think we are a little ahead of some of the people, and we can support and encourage them on their journeys because we know about journeys.
And I think that's a part of the story. So many of us came from religious traditions that did not allow us to be ourselves. So when we discover a progressive church that embraces all of who we are, it becomes easier to say, all right, you do your thing because now I know better than I did before. I was constrained by all of the doctrinal messages that I was getting from my previous church, and I can let go of that and get rid of all of that baggage and luggage and begin to enjoy who I am and begin to enjoy this thing that I today am calling God. And tomorrow I may call it something else. I remember way back in 1997, I did my first sermon, and the first line in that sermon was, "You and I are on a journey." I did not know how true that was.
Isn't that
What
the
I
truth?
thought then, even in 97, in a progressive church, is so different than where I am today. And I love continuing the walk because I can't wait to see what tomorrow brings. So much fun.
Yep.
You know, when you was going through the perspective and you got down to that section about what if God could care less, what we call it. Well, there's those people again. Oh, there goes those heretics again. You know, there goes those non-believers again. But I think it takes people saying non-believers to make us be what we are, because we are the ones who are asking the question.
Yes.
That's right.
We're the ones who would dare ask the what if. And this is one of those areas where when you do the what if, I don't need someone saying what the Bible said.
Yeah.
Or what scripture said, because it puts everything back into a box.
Yes.
And the what ifs allows us to get out of our box, allows us to get out of our way, my way of thinking as a kid growing up, to say, what if it's all bigger than what I thought it was as a kid growing up? What if the journey is not just the end of the dirt road? Or what if the journey really is beyond what I can't even envision right now? And I think helping with this, a new thought is always about being open at the top.
Open at the top.
Open
yes.
at the top. Now, how do we become more open in our thinking and in our way of believing, to say, the more open I become, the less restricted I am. Because I'm taking on more, I'm putting myself in that place to say, what if?
Yeah.
You know, what if? And the what if can be followed by so many different things, just based on what we bring to the table from our childhood, from our just experience. You know, just a shift in consciousness and a shift in thinking can change the whole journey so easily. And part of this is not playing the old tapes that we always play.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And letting go. And I know sometimes that's easier to say than it is to be done. But once you get the practice of letting go, it's easy to be open at the top.
Yeah, it is. Beautiful.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together.
We all are in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.
Bye.